Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. The Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, while addressing the ASSOCHAM Foundation Week event, says that investor mindset towards India has changed from why invest in India to why not invest in India. Of course, he would certainly be talking about investments from abroad because the domestic mindset certainly doesn't seem to be so. He cited many reasons when he says that there has been a shift in investor mindset from what he calls why India to why not India. The first reason he says is that under his regime, many old laws have been scrapped. 1500 laws, he says, they have been scrapped and that has made business easier. He then says reforms have been undertaken. He refers to reforms in tax laws, reforms in labor laws, and he points out that tax rates have come down substantially, which make India an attractive investment destination. In respect of labor laws, he says that the cost of compliance or the compliance burden under the new labor code is certainly much lower than what it was earlier. Mr. Modi then says that in India, red carpet has replaced red tape. Thus, it's much easier to get approvals and start your businesses. He then says that the government has put much more faith in the private sector. The government has reposed faith in the private sector such that now there is much less interference by the government in the private sector. He then goes to point out that the focus of his government has been on the PLI scheme. The PLI scheme is under focus in order to boost domestic manufacturing capability and capacity. He then says that an ecosystem has been set up which nurtures startups in India. And because of all this, Mr. Modi says that the world has now been reposing faith in India. And for that, he refers to the rising levels of FDI and FPI in India. FDI, which is foreign direct investment, and foreign portfolio investment, both have been at record levels of late. He says that's proof that the world has reposed its faith in India as an investment destination. Let's discuss this journey of India from why invest in India to why not invest in India, as Prime Minister Mr. Modi says. Let's start with why was it that investors refrain from investing in India, and their question would be, why should we invest in India? The fact of the matter is, India discouraged investors first because of its long, unending red tape, its legendary corruption, and also its insensitive system and bureaucracy. So the first reason why investors would not want to invest in India had to do with the government itself, red tapeism, corruption, and bureaucracy. And then a toxic byproduct of India's infamous red tapeism, insensitive bureaucracy, and corruption has been delayed approvals. Approvals for setting up projects get delayed, they go into an uncertain mode as a matter of a routine situation. Delayed approvals is one part. After approvals and licenses getting delayed, we also see licenses getting cancelled abruptly, and that puts the entire investment at risk. Why would an investor come in such a situation? We have seen the 2G telecom licenses getting cancelled and investors losing tens of thousands of crores. We have seen how POSCO's steel project has got delayed because of delayed approvals. All these mean investors do not prefer India as an investment destination. And then we routinely see contracts not getting honored in India. Contracts not being honored by the private sector is understandable, though not acceptable at all. But then when the government does not honor its contracts, it's neither acceptable nor understandable. After all, it is the government which has to uphold the rule of the law. It has to uphold the written contract, the spoken contract also. But that is routinely infringed in India. We see how a few years ago, the power sector suffered and continues to suffer because the government went back on all its power fuel supply linkage contracts. That continues, and those projects have all become NPAs. We also saw how the Amravati construction projects were cancelled by the new government that came in Andhra Pradesh, and foreign investors have lost, or their money running into thousands of crores is at risk because of this sudden cancellation by a new government. Why would a foreign investor want to risk himself in such a situation? contracts get cancelled, and then comes unending litigation. Indian courts are known for continuing litigation for years together, and so is the situation with litigants in India. It defeats the very purpose of doing business. It defeats the very purpose of entering into contracts, and this becomes a deterrent to investors coming here. Along with all this, we have uncertain laws. We have complex laws, we have complicated laws, and we have costs of compliance of these laws, which is extremely steep and extremely uncertain because of demands that come from the government. Why would again an investor risk his investment here? And that's the reason why investors have not considered their investment to be safe in the country. And to top it, the government of India refuses to enter into any bilateral investment protection treaties. Investors shun such territories because, of course, they've got better options to invest worldwide. With these reasons, it becomes why should somebody invest in India? And that has not truly been addressed by the government. According to us, not much has changed from this journey of why to why not. And at the ground level, if you see it, things have not improved as drastically as the Prime Minister would want to say. But despite that, the fact is, India has been in focus of late for foreign investors. Despite India being in a slowdown mode, despite the Indian economy contracting, despite what we say that the ground level ease of doing business has not improved substantially, despite all this, India has been seeing a higher inflow of FDI and FPI into the country. And the reasons for that are quite a number to talk about. The first reason why India has been in focus and why the Prime Minister now says that the attitude has shifted to why not India is that there has been a conscious effort by the government in recent years to market India as an attractive investment destination. When the highest levels of the bureaucracy and the highest levels of the government start marketing India as an attractive investment destination, there is certainly some movement in the investors. They do tend to then risk their investment in India. And that is what we have first witnessed in recent times. The second has been that the government has been undertaking reforms. The execution of the reforms at the ground level may not be the best, but on paper, reforms have been taking place. The recent ones were in labor reforms. We saw reforms in the farm sector. We've seen reforms or changes taking place in taxation. We've seen the PLI scheme come as a matter of an incentive to investors to come to India. We've seen changes taking place in FDI and also in ease of doing business. Investors have certainly been attracted because of these reforms, especially when the government keeps saying that it intends to ensure that delivery does take place. The third reason why India has been in focus, according to us, is just a matter of chance or timing. Because of China's aggression, because of trade friction with China happening worldwide, companies worldwide are looking for an alternate to China. They have been adopting a China plus policy, as they say, that you may be there in China, but you need an alternate destination. And India has been coming into focus because of its own large domestic market, because of its manpower resources, because of its geographical resources, and because of the potential that projects can be set up in a country where there's democracy and political stability. So it is this China plus situation. It is this need for MNCs to have an alternate to China that India has also come in focus of late for international investors as an investment destination that they would want to try out. We may have reached a point from why India to why not India, as the Prime Minister says, but to us, the real destination or the objective should be only India as far as international investors are concerned. And for that, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to go because we need to have substantial, tangible, real improvement taking place in the entire ecosystem and investment and business environment in India. And what needs to be done first is to perform, to deliver. The government has been reforming, but when it comes to delivery, as Modi says, there has been a big gap between what is said and what is done. It is performance that convinces investors, and thus, if reforms are left on paper, but actual improvement doesn't take place, it doesn't convince investors. So the first is the government needs to perform better in governance. It needs to deliver what has been promised. The second is India is an over-regulated destination. Our laws are complex, our laws are complicated, compliance costs are too high. We need to simplify our laws and we also need to reduce the cost of compliance. That's the second thing to be done. For that, we will need to dismantle red tapeism. We will need to tackle bureaucracy. We will need to tackle corruption. And we will need to make a system which is more sensitive to the needs of business and industry and the investors. Then, of course, comes infrastructure. India needs a substantial improvement in infrastructure. We have a huge infrastructure deficit in the country, and that needs to be tackled and handled on a war footing. We see a huge gap there, and we see huge delays there. In the matter of setting up projects, land acquisitions continues to be an issue, and land reforms have not yet come. The government did attempt, but it could not see them through. But with its brute majority in parliament, the government will need to have land reforms taking place such that acquisition of land for setting up projects is not as difficult and expensive as it is at the moment. Then comes contracts. We need to ensure that we have a system, we have a judicial system, we have a bureaucratic system where contracts do get honored and they are not just left on paper. The next reason why India can be the only investment destination is a domestic market. India has a huge domestic market, but India at the moment is at a low middle income level destination. We need to ensure that per capita incomes go up such that demand shoots up in the domestic economy. And because of that, investors worldwide are attracted to come to India just for the benefit of the domestic demand. That means we need to set up a better ecosystem. We need to set up an ecosystem such that we appear to be at least better than competing nations. Because for that investment, there are many nations competing. India is not the only one. And that nation which has an ecosystem which convinces the investors, which makes the investor feel that his investment is safe, which makes the investor feel that there will be a return on investment as expected. Only then will they want to come to India, and India needs to be in that slot. Our present environment tends to be predatory. That will need to be stopped. Thus, the journey from why India to why not India to only India, which should be our objective, is going to be a long one. To us, that journey has just begun, and it is a fragile situation. It is so fragile that if a couple of Withstrong kind of incidents of labor strike take place, you'll suddenly find that India as an investment destination is being questioned. We've just started the journey. Investors are still looking at India with a sense of doubt. They are still sitting on the fence. And in case we want them to jump into the game and start investing in India, then performance will have to start first by the government. It is the government which will have to deliver, and that is where the big if always has been. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
Hello everyone. HW News English is 2 years old now. When we started this venture, we promised ourselves one thing, that news should remain free, because right to know is the right of every Indian. But to keep news free for everyone, we need support from some of you. And thus we have rolled out membership on our YouTube channel HW News English. But mind you, the membership is completely voluntary. The programs that we were doing earlier, that we are doing now, will continue to remain free. First level is a basic level. Here you can be our supporter by paying rupees 199 per month. This membership gives you certain perks and benefits. The perks include unique badges in front of your name, a live show from Mr. Sujit Nair and from Mr. Akhilesh Bhargava per month for our members. You can also vote in some exclusive members-only polls. Now the second level is Super Supporter. Here you can be our Super Supporter by paying rupees 3,999 per month. This membership will include every perk that comes with basic level. Additionally, our super supporters can be a part of a WhatsApp group where we can have discussions and suggestions on various topics. The second perk includes a gift pack with our merchandise. And the third perk is a Google Meet with Mr. Sujit Nair, where you can join the meet and ask your questions to Mr. Nair face to face. Lastly, if you like, we would give a shout out to our super supporters in our programs. So, hope to see you soon with our badges.